All right, welcome back into Cherry Picking. Today's episode, buy low and sell high. It's week 5 of the fantasy hockey season, so there's definitely some targets for you guys to be looking at. You know, some guys you're looking to offload for sure, and then obviously there are guys that are playing a little bit worse than what a lot of people expected them at the beginning of the season. So definitely some guys that you might be able to steal from your league mates right now. But let's get right into it. The first guy that I'm going to be selling high on is Valeri Nichuskin on the Colorado Avalanche. Now you might be thinking, Ryan, what are you saying? He just got hurt. You more on how are you supposed to trade this guy? Well, before that, he was having a career year. And right now, Jared Bednar said he just had ankle surgery. He tested it out in Finland before. It didn't work out. His ankle was really bothering him. So he ended up having surgery. So he's out for about a month. But if you look at his numbers before that, he played 7 games before that. He had 7 goals and 5 assists, so 12 points in 7 games. And along with that, he had 5 power play goals, which is massive. He leads the team right now in points per 60 minutes. Obviously, he's played a few less games than the rest of his team, but at 503, that's very substantial. Here's my thing with Valeri Nichuskin. His shooting percentage in those 7 games he's played was almost 26%. That is insanely high. And personally, on a team like this, I don't think that is sustainable either. You might think it'd be difficult to trade a guy who's only coming back in a month, but through 7 or 8 games that he played, he was a top 3 fantasy hockey player. That definitely carries some weight. So why not trade this guy at his peak value right now? It's a very small sample size of really efficient production on a team that's loaded with offensive guys. You know, you have Rantanen, you have McKinnon, even Cale Makar too, Devin Taves. There's a lot of guys on this team that will definitely fight for his offensive production that he was so good with at the beginning of the year. One of the guys that I will be talking about in buy low, I think is a perfect trade option, but there's definitely a couple other guys that I'd be looking to trade Valeri Nichuskin for. All right, the next guy we're going to be selling high on this week is Gabriel Vilardi. Now, funny enough, he was definitely a must-add, I think in week 1 or week 2 on Cherry Picking, but now he's been so good that he's definitely someone that I'd sell high on. He is in just 15 games, he has 10 goals, 5 assists, so a point per game. His shooting volume is pretty decent as well, and he's just been playing out of his mind, really, when his one of his first or second full season in the NHL with the LA Kings. Unlike Nichuskin, he is healthy, but he has a very similar red flag. He also has a shooting percentage of around 25%. Now, to remind people, the top scorers in the NHL last year, Austin Matthews, Leon Draisaitl, guys like that, their shooting percentage hovered around 18 or 17 for a season. So to really expect a guy that's in his second full season in the NHL is going to continue at a pace of 25 to 26% is a little unrealistic in my mind. He is on the first line with Kopitar and Kempe, which is great, but he's 4th in shot attempts, 3rd in shots on goal. He's clearly a part of their offensive game plan, but he's not the only option. And right now he is playing like a guy who's the only option. So why not go and look for a guy on a team that is the only offensive option, or 1 or 2 on that team. Vilardi's utility of playing center, right wing, and left wing is obviously very important. You like to see that. You like to have a guy like that on your team. But there's definitely guys out there that have started a little bit slow that you'd be able to convince your league mates to trade for a guy who has 10 goals already this season. That's 3rd in the NHL, tied with guys like Kirill Kaprizov, really top fantasy hockey players. So Chris Kreider, guy who started slow, I think you could definitely use a trade option for Gabriel Vilardi right now. Other names maybe as well. Nazem Kadri, the Flames have kind of taken a little bit of a downturn recently. And then even Mitch Marner, he's had a really slow start, especially in the goal category. He only has 3 goals, I think, right now. Definitely a number of assists. But right now with Vilardi carrying that weight of 3rd in the NHL in goals, I think these are definitely guys you could target when you're trading. All right, now onto the guys to buy low for this week. The first guy, Johnny Gaudreau. I think he is a perfect buy low option right now. He has, in 12 games, just 5 goals, 4 assists, no power play goals right now to show for, something that he was very prevalent on the Flames last season. So also you can attribute to maybe, getting to know his new team. Line was out for a little bit. Definitely a couple factors. But one of the reasons too, Columbus has a really weird schedule so far. Like, they just played in Finland, right? So there's a huge break before and after. They've only played 2 games since October 30th now, or the 10th or 9th into the month, 10 or 9 days into the month of November now, excuse me. And he has great underlying metrics and numbers for him to break out soon. He's 2nd on the team in expected goals behind Boone Jenner, which is actually quite surprising. His shooting percentage right now is at 12.5%. That's pretty low for him. Generally, we've seen him around the 16 to 15 range. That's where we saw him last year when he had 40 goals. And then other seasons, we've seen it upwards near 17 and 17.5%. Now, this is a guy that had 115 points last year. A lot of people aren't really talking about Johnny Gaudreau's slow start, I think, but I think it's definitely something you could take advantage of. This Columbus team is in complete disarray in terms of defensive structure, and even their goalies right now just aren't playing well. So for them to compete in these games, they're going to have to score a lot, and that production is going to come from that first line. I wouldn't hate to see Brad Larson maybe move Jenner off that first line and throw up Kent Johnson. Ken Johnson, Line, and Gaudreau play together in the preseason, and they're actually putting up great numbers. I would honestly try and trade right now Nichuskin for Gaudreau. I think there's a lot of people maybe frustrated with Gaudreau's start, a guy that was ranked in the top 20 to 25 players to start the season. And I don't think it's that crazy. He's 194th in Yahoo scoring right now. Nichuskin is still ahead of him with just 7 games played, which is pretty wild. Another guy that you can look to maybe buy low or sell high on for Gaudreau is Alex Tuck. He's been really, really good on this Sabres team so far. They've been producing pretty solid offensively, but I don't think that his numbers are sustainable either. And even Matt Boldy, I think that is a very even trade, to be honest. Boldy is going to be very, very involved in this Minnesota Wild offense moving forward. Along with Kaprizov, he's one of the only scoring options. I do think Gaudreau will still push that 100-point mark this season, so get him now while he's not a point per game. All right, so the last guy that I'm buying low on this week is Vitek Vanecek, goalie for the New Jersey Devils. I think this is a great time to buy low on him, considering Mackenzie Blackwood just went down with an MCL sprain. He'll be out for 3 to 6 weeks, and Vanecek has been playing really well for the last 6 or 7 games. He had a pretty slow start, along with the Devils just in general, but he's currently the 23rd ranked goalie in Yahoo fantasy scoring. He will exceed that for sure. I think you could even see him finishing inside the top 10. The Devils have proven, to me at least, that they're a very good team. I'm very high on them. They've played really well recently. They're on this huge win streak. They limit chances defensively, which is really important. Last year, their defense, with Dougie Hamilton out for a good part of the year, really struggled, along with their goaltending. But I'm surprised with some of the other guys that have played well. Damon Severson is one of the names too, and then John Marino, a guy they picked up last season in the offseason, has been very good as well. They have the second fewest high danger chances against so far this season, and they're second in NHL in expected goals against per 60. So really all Vanecek needs to do is stop the puck, and you'll for sure get wins. He might not have those 35 to 45 saves nights or every single night, but those will definitely come, and wins are definitely way more important when you're thinking of fantasy hockey. He hasn't lost a single game in November yet this year in 3 starts. He boasts a .929 save percentage and a 2.34 goals against average. Not to mention in October, he posted a shutout in a 1-0 New Jersey Devils win over the Colorado Avalanche. A couple guys that maybe you'd be able to trade Vanecek for, or instead of, I guess right now, is definitely Karel Vejmelka. He's 9th right now. He's the best fantasy 9th best fantasy hockey goalie on this so far this season. He's been great. He is a very solid goaltender, but playing on the Arizona Coyotes, it's unrealistic to think that he's going to have these random wins. They beat the Leafs already this year. We've seen them beat the Panthers as well. Just super random wins. I don't think that's going to really be sustainable. And another guy too is Jake Allen. I'm a Habs fan, so it's tough for me to say that. Jake Allen's been playing out of his mind. I can't see him playing at this level. The Montreal Canadiens D-core is very young. They give up a lot of turnovers, so I think their games will start to become more high-scoring, and Jake Allen will start to get a few more losses. So those are definitely 2 guys that I would look to trade for Vanecek right now. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what guys you're looking to trade, what guys you're looking to trade for. If you have any questions about your team, I'm more than happy to answer them for you guys. And also be sure to join the Discord. Everyone's always firing questions in there, helping each other out with their fantasy hockey teams. Very valuable information. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.